Get some more reaction from Robert Oulds. He's the director of the Bruges Group. It's a Tory think tank. Robert, welcome to this news hour. Are you happy with the choice of Liz Truss as the new Tory leader and the new Prime Minister designate?
Well, Liz Truss has been on a political journey and she's been saying many of the right things, many of the right ideas that we need in this country to get the economy moving and get the cost of living crisis under control and end the energy crisis as well. And that means using the massive amount of resources that Britain has, be that in terms of hydrocarbons such as coal and shale gas, to, of course, the great resource that we have, which is the British people and the ability to be inventive and to have the City of London unleashed and forming trade deals around the globe, which is something that Liz Truss really did make her name at when she was the Trade Secretary and then the Foreign Secretary, going around the world, making trade deals and creating global Britain, which is something that Brexit is all about. And one thing, this has resonated with the British people, because, of course, according to the opinion polls, or at least one opinion poll, she is more popular than Keir Starmer, the Labour leader, the current leader of the opposition, and the man she has to beat the next general election, which could be any time from this year till, of course, December 2024. So she has resonated and she's adopted the cultural conservative position, which, of course, is what is needed if the Conservative Party is going to hold on to the seats that it took in the north of England, former Labour seats where people came over to the Conservative Party because they felt the Labour Party was just too metropolitan, too liberal, and no longer spoke for them or represented their interests. But Liz Truss is someone who's going to be new ideas. She is a new broom that will sweep away the mistakes of her opponent for the Conservative leadership, which is Rishi Sunak, who made some dreadful clangers in terms of putting up a tax called national insurance, which is essentially a job tax, and this tax affected the least well off the most, which was reprehensible even. And of course, he's responsible, ultimately, him and Boris, for the inflationary boom in terms of creating and printing money and throwing it at the economy, which has led to this inflationary crisis in the first place.
Well, you speak about that inflationary crisis and mentioning that this all did happen under Boris Johnson's leadership. And some analysts, though, have said that Liz Truss, and she called him today in her speech a friend, that she is just going to follow through with many of his policies. Do you think that will actually be the case?
Well, she will certainly follow through with the policy of supporting the Ukrainian government against Russia, which, of course, is one of the key problems that the British economy is indeed facing, as are other countries in Europe that are less vociferous in their support of Ukraine, such as Germany, who essentially have their gas switched off, and winter is coming. And this is going to be a real crisis that's going to hit continental European countries, perhaps worse. But with the energy market as it is, it's driving up costs for consumers and businesses alike. And there is a problem in the UK that many factories may have to simply shut down, if temporarily, during cold spells, because they won't be able to afford the energy to keep the lights on and keep their workers warm, which is a legal requirement in British law. So there are a number of problems that she's going to need to hit the ground running and tackle this urgently. Otherwise, people will be in real crisis. And of course, we talk a lot about the problems of global warming, but in this country, there's far more deaths each year as a result of cold temperatures. And this is something that is affecting people. It's leading to protests on the streets from some radicals even. And we must get this energy crisis under control, and that means liberalising the energy market, that breaking up the control that just a few companies have over the prices, which possibly work as a cartel. We're yet to prove that, but this is something that could be the case. And just make sure that all the resources that the UK has are available, and then we're energy independent, and we do not have to rely on gas and energy from outside, even electricity from France, where we can set our own economic policies and of course have our own energy security, which is absolutely vital.
Yeah,
Otherwise, it's
Liz
all
Truss,
people are going to be paying.
Liz Truss certainly got a tough task ahead of Robert Oulds. Thank you so much.
Thank you.